Shut up and sit down.
Hello and welcome to the Comic Vigilante Podcast, Episode 4, official podcast of boundingintocomics.com. I'm John Faust.
And I'm John Trent. We're going to be talking about comic book shows and the big one, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, you finally got around to watching it.
I'm sorry, I had things to do last weekend.
Yeah, I went and saw it with my wife, so the second time. I will say I liked it better on the second time than I did the first.
That's good. I saw it with my fiance, and surprisingly, she actually told me the other day that she would like to go see it a second time.
Nice.
Which never happens, especially with a comic book movie. So I'm excited. I'm excited to do that, but hopefully, I'm not sure I'll have time anytime soon. It might be another couple days before I'm able to get in there and see it again.
I've always lived by the motto: a couple that nerds together stays together.
Oh yeah, we read we read comic books together too. She really likes. Brian Michael Bendis has this book about this redhead young girl who rages against society.
Red Sonja?
No. It's an Icon imprint. What is it called? Scarlet. It's called Scarlet.
Huh.
He's been a little lax in putting out new issues, but he teased that there would be some new ones coming out this year on Tumblr a couple weeks ago. But we like reading that one together. And then she likes reading Lady Killer by Joelle Jones. And we're excited. We're looking forward to seeing that second series of that come out from Dark Horse later this year.
That's really cool. My wife, she really likes Empowered by Adam Warren and Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. I love the movie. I got the comics later, and I felt like I was watching the movie again. It was very cool. Okay, speaking of comic books going to the big screen or screens in general, so the shows that have been this week, we got The Flash, we got Supergirl, we got Gotham, we got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Am I missing anything? Legends. There's Legends, yeah. Legends. Now that was fun, but we have differing opinions on that one. So let's start with Flash, then Supergirl, then we can do Gotham, Legends of Tomorrow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Then we can talk about Batman vs. Superman. We'll make sure we have time.
Yeah. So The Flash, I mean, he's still got the same problem that he's always had. He can't run fast enough. He hasn't been able to run fast enough since the first episode. And now he's going to take some drastic measures to figure out the Speed-Force equation and travel back in time to meet up with his former mentor and now nemesis, Eobard Thawne, who is posing as Harrison Wells.
Okay, so a few things. One, I thought it was adorable that Caitlin Snow made like a visualization in what is it? Not Photoshop, but what do you call it when it's animated? She made an animated thing to show Barry how he is not fast enough. She's like
GIF?
No, it was like an animated video that she made.
Where it was showing that his feet spend too much time on the ground compared to zoom and reverse flash.
I'm like, not only did she do the calculations.
Sounds like it's pretty easy for Barry to figure out how to go faster. He just needs to not have as much of his foot on the ground.
I know, right?
It seemed like they gave him the answer there, but it wasn't the answer he was looking for. So he was like, well, I'm not going to try and work on my footing when I run. I'm going instead travel back in time to figure out this complex equation.
Yes.
Or he wasn't even trying to figure out the equation. He just wanted the answer given to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna risk the Flashpoint paradox in order to go back and mess with time to get my arch enemy to give me the answer. Where there's so many problems with this.
Well, the biggest problem is that he didn't even need to go back in time to get the answer. Because how did he get the answer? He got it from a USB from the computer that's in the room that they already have access to. So like the entire episode was like almost completely pointless, besides messing with the timeline.
So
and introducing us to these time wraiths, and then there's actually danger in traveling back in time.
Yeah,
besides changing the timeline.
There's a few things here. One, the time wraiths. Obviously, they're trying to do Black Flash or the
Black Racer.
The Black Racer, but they can't effectively, like, because they already have a bad guy who wears a black costume, so they can't do that. So they had to make wraiths, which, okay, that's fine. But okay, Barry has gone so fast, he's broken into a new dimension, gone back in time on accident because he was going so fast. At that point, how do you go faster? Like, there's this level of fast that...
Keep your feet off the ground.
Apparently he needs some tachyons. That's the deal. So he goes back, knocks himself out, doesn't do it well enough, gets caught, because obviously, and changes all of these things. Like, there's that conversation where all of them have, and he's just changing things left and right. We come back, and the only thing we've seen that has changed is the Pied Piper is now a good guy.
Yes, and Caitlin and Cisco have figured out how to stop the time wraith, which they actually didn't figure out. The Pied Piper figured out.
Right.
How did he even know that he needed to figure that out?
So something that exists in these time travel, especially CW, has a time travel problem. We're going to talk about it more in Legends of Tomorrow. But there's something called the bootstrap paradox. There was an entire Doctor Who episode about it. But basically, it's the idea of if you go back in time and you do something that you only did, or you went back in time to do something where your motivation for doing it existed. So, I'm not doing this right. Okay.
So it would have been like Back to the Future, where Marty actually creates himself by marrying his mom.
Right.
Pretty much. That's what it would have been. That's what the bootstrap paradox would have been.
Right. Google it. They'll do it better than I will. And there's even a video where the Doctor explains it using Beethoven, where he says this guy, he loves Beethoven. He's got a time machine. He goes back, realizes Beethoven doesn't exist, gets all of the concertos and things published by himself under the name Beethoven. So nothing changes in the timeline. Goes back to the beginning. Who actually wrote the sonatas and concertos and the symphonies? And the question is, no one knows. It's a paradox. So there's a lot of these going on in the Flash. So Pied Piper is now part of the Team Flash. I don't know how they're going to do that, but apparently it works.
I'm not sure if he is part of the Team Flash, because he's like, all right, I'll see you guys later. And he's just like, leaves.
All right, peace out.
So I don't think we'll actually be seeing him as part of Team Flash. He might just show up when they have complicated problems that they can't solve within their team.
That's so good. It's so silly.
That's what it looks like it's going to happen, though.
Reverse Flash knows that he's going to be defeated. So that's got to change things. Like, they really have to do something where more is changed.
Was he even defeated, though? We don't even know. We don't know anything that happened. I mean, did Eobard Thawne even, like, go back or try and go back to his own time? Did all that stuff happen?
This is one of those situations where the more you think about it, the more you realize that it makes even less sense than you thought.
Yes.
So I'm just going to go with Speed Force magic. In the same way that like, you remember when you watched Lost? Did you ever watch Lost?
Thankfully, I did not.
Oh. In Lost, every once in a while, you just have to go island magic. It's just the way it is. So, we're going to go with that. Is there anything else you want to talk about Flash before we go to Supergirl, which had the Flash?
I do want to talk about how Barry is pretty pathetic, just in general. He has to go back in time to receive the Speed Force equation from Eobard Thawne. He is impatient and doesn't want to continue trying to figure out on his own. He wants to go back and just have it handed to him. And I think that's just, I don't know. I don't really like that. How that entire shows his character as just kind of finicky and a little weak when it comes to trying to actually figure out complex things.
I have to agree, because when you have, so Eobard showed up twice. Eobard Thawne showed up twice. The first time he needed tachyons. I mean, he was sitting on the tachyon emitter to try and gain Speed Force back. Remember, that's what the chair was. It was like he was sitting on a tachyon emitter trying to get the Speed Force back. And then
Right.
the other time he went back, and they screwed up the timeline that time too, he needed tachyons to get back. And somehow Barry hasn't put two and two together and go, oh man, tachyons are how I go faster. So, but apparently he needs to
Going to Supergirl,
Oh, yeah.
he's using a tachyon device to travel into her dimension.
Right, which was on Monday, and Tuesday we find out that that's what's necessary.
Yeah, it's just absurd. It's absurd.
All right, so that's a great transition into Supergirl, which I've only watched the first 2 episodes and then this one. And I'm not sure I'm going to be watching anymore.
I don't think you miss much.
So I liked the chemistry between Supergirl and the Flash. That was interesting.
Yes, they had great chemistry.
Yeah. And
So much so that Jimmy Olsen is mad with jealousy. And he's the only one that doesn't realize that he's mad with jealousy. Because every other character points it out to him.
it's true. But I think that's going against man law. The Bro Code explicitly states if you know a guy for over 24 hours, his sister is off limits. And I think that goes for cousins as well. Because Superman doesn't really have a sister. He's got, a cousin. That's as close as he's going to get. So I'm pretty sure, being Jimmy Olsen, the best friend of Superman, I think his cousin is off limits. Maybe that's the reason why he's not going after her. He's like, dude, if I break your heart, Superman's going to break my legs.
I don't know if Superman would do that. And
The Man of Steel one would.
He doesn't really seem to be really part of the show. I mean, there's a shadow there, and like Kara will text him once in a while, but it's really not. He's off in Metropolis doing Metropolis things.
Fighting Doomsday.
Yeah. But we did get to see Silver Banshee team up with Livewire.
Yeah, but
because obviously we have a team up.
she needed a makeover first.
Oh, that line was so terrible. What
Hey,
the costume was really good, though. She looked really great as Silver Banshee.
Right.
Like, ripped straight from the comics.
But you can't, 2 hours in a makeup room before you have to go commit some crimes. It's like, wait, I can't fight you yet. My face isn't on.
Yeah, I think it would have been interesting if her screams actually had somehow affected her physical makeup, and that's how she got that look. Instead, it was just, oh, we're gonna go put an outfit on.
Yeah. Well, there was the old lady, you got to have the old the fortune teller lady to tell you that you're a supervillain. So the old fortune teller lady tells her she's a supervillain, and she says the longer you go without killing this person, the stronger your powers will get. So potentially, what's going to happen is she'll start to look like that, hopefully, so that the so that we're not forced to have her do the makeup every week. And
well, we've already seen her vision where she sees this wraith creature in the vision.
I think it's a time wraith.
No, I think it's just the Banshee curse.
Hey, who would win an arm wrestling match? A Banshee or a time wraith?
I think the time wraith would win.
Yeah, that's probably right.
And even if he did lose, he would just travel back in time to make sure he did win next time.
Yes. Sucker punch its grandma.
Yeah.
Alright, so Jimmy Olsen, super jealous. Livewire, I thought she seemed like she had potential. You didn't really like the character. Why not?
She seemed like a gimmick. She didn't really have any gravitas on camera. Every time she talked, I was just my ears were bleeding. It was just a nightmare just seeing her on camera. And I was like, every time Banshee screamed to have her stop talking, I was thankful. I was like, keep screaming, Banshee, so I don't have to hear this person talk anymore.
It's terrible.
Because the dialogue was just awful.
Yeah,
and the makeup line was the worst.
They need to do something about that. And Cat Grant was difficult to listen to as well. But okay, so that was Supergirl.
Oh, see, I actually like Cat Grant. I think she's the besides Supergirl, she's the best part of the show.
Yeah? Does she get better in other episodes? I know you've seen episodes I haven't.
Yeah, the interaction between Supergirl and Cat Grant is actually pretty endearing. And Cat Grant is this tough, Devil Wears Prada type boss, and she calls her Kira instead of Kara. Treats Kara like the assistant that she is, but she also does really care for Kara at the same time.
Huh.
So there's that endearing motherly figure, as well as the tough hard boss who expects results.
Right. Okay. So you saw Gotham. I did not. What did you think about it?
It was probably one of the weaker episodes of after we've come back from the break. It was all about Jim and the Penguin. Jim's dealing with his problems in prison. The warden hates him, mainly because of our good friend Commissioner Loeb has given the commissioner the nod to make Jim's life a living hell. And he doesn't even want to make it a living hell. He wants to send him to hell. So that makes our Harvey take drastic action after meeting with Jim and seeing how everything's going on. And Harvey then reaches out to the one and only Carmine Falcone, who is back on the show.
Now he wasn't the Don one. He was the Latino one, right?
No, Carmine Falcone is the Don. He's the older guy.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the bigger rogues in Batman's gallery when it comes to street rogues.
Well, I remember there was the two Dons. One was the guy from Dexter, and the other was kind of the older, more experienced.
Yeah. Falcone's the more experienced one who was running things in the first season.
Okay.
Fish Mooney was working for him while trying to backstab him.
Right, I remember him.
So he's back, and he pulls strings to get Gordon out of prison. But Gordon decides he wants to go back to prison to save this friend that he met. And there's like a dramatic scene between Gordon and the warden. And then it's resolved by a good prison guard knocking the crap out of the warden.
All right, so what's Bruce doing?
We didn't see Bruce at all. We didn't see Mr. Freeze. We didn't see Hugo Strange. We didn't see Catwoman. We didn't see Alfred. We did see Penguin. He's all involved in his new family. And his new family isn't as idyllic as it was made out to be, which we saw beforehand when they were like giving sideways glances, and when they were introducing Penguin, they were like almost turning away from him, like they didn't want to have anything to do with him. We now know the reason why they don't want to have anything to do with him is because his dad is dying from a bad heart, and the family is helping him die by replacing his heart pills with Altoids.
And he doesn't notice? Is his taste going too?
I mean, it's just, I guess, it's one of those things where you like suspend your disbelief and just go with it.
Because I mean, Altoids are curiously strong.
It might not have been an Altoid. It was some kind of mint. It could have been oat flavorless mint or something. I don't know. It was just bad. I understand what they're trying to do. They want to make Penguin, like, maybe, I think this is what they're trying to do. They want to make Penguin get all pissed off at these people for killing his, like, this one, like, really good thing in his life, so he'll go crazy again. Possibly crazy again, but who knows? It was just a really bad, boring episode. I didn't really care about those stories that they're taking these characters. I would have rather seen Jim like sit in prison for a while. He could have actually been off screen, and I would have liked to have seen more with Bruce, more with Alfred. What's Alfred doing now? I think there's lots of stories you could tell with Alfred.
Yeah.
With Bruce gone, and he's not going to look for him. He's going to maybe start trying to dig into what's happening with Wayne Enterprises a little more and dedicate his life to trying to bring the company back get rid of all the corruption that's within the company.
That would be really cool if you find out that he was doing that.
No, I'm just saying that's...
No, that's what I mean. Like, if you found out that he was doing that.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. And how many villains... You could create new villains within the Wayne Enterprise corporate structure that he has to combat.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a Fox character, but it's not Fox. Since we've seen Fox, we know he's a good guy. But maybe there's a reverse Fox or something like that, like an Ironmonger type character who's working within Wayne Enterprises to create like evil gadgets, and then he starts using them to terrorize the city.
Maybe an accountant, calendar man.
Yeah, Calendar Man would work as an accountant. I'd love to see that. But Gotham was not impressive this week. Not impressive.
Okay. So, let's go to Legends of Tomorrow. What did you think?
I wasn't impressed with Legends either, to be honest.
See, I liked it. I enjoyed this episode.
It was better than a couple of the episodes of Legends. It wasn't the weakest Legends episode, but it also wasn't the best.
So,
I think the biggest issue I had was that they rely on time travel way too much for their plot.
It's a time travel show. I mean, they kind of have to.
I understand that it's a time travel show, but when you're literally just taking a character and radically transforming him off screen in one episode, it's kind of hard to buy what you see on screen the next episode.
I see what you're saying.
It's like, oh, he went to the vanishing point, and now he's this radically different character, but we're never going to see what happened at the vanishing point.
Well, I bet you we will.
Maybe. There might be some flashbacks. But as it stands now, we don't know what actually happened there. We just got like a couple lines of dialogue to describe what it was, and they just kind of leave us with that imagination and hope that we'll buy it.
Right. So Mick,
And I didn't buy it.
Mick was one of my favorite characters.
Yes, he was mine too.
I'm sure, or I hope they explain things, and I love that he's back, and now he's like this fully trained psycho bounty hunter guy. And it'd be very cool if they brought him back, and like, so they could explain the personality change the same way that they explained everyone else's personality change. Like, he was out of the time rifting for too long, and he started to lose himself in the new time. Like, if that's the case, and we get like an old school Mick, but now he has this totally new skill set and understands time, like in the same way the Rip Hunter does, that would be really cool. Especially,
or they could just kill this Mick and go to 2015 and get the old Mick.
No, you can't just kill Mick.
They wouldn't be killing him because they'd be going to get the one that hadn't been captured by the Time Masters yet.
Go like 5 minutes before they caught him and grab that Mick.
Yeah, or just go back to where they left him. I think they tried to like explain why you can't do that, but it didn't really make sense. Like, Rip had like one line why you can't do that.
Yeah. See, Doctor Who has painstakingly created a structure for time travel where things make sense because there's rules and boundaries to it, and you know what the rules are. So you're not expecting these sort of, well, why can't you do X? This show hasn't been able to do any of that, so we get a lot of, so why didn't you just go back?
Even with the Flash, the rules are kind of being thrown out the rules that we thought we knew are being thrown out the window.
Well, we don't know yet. We just, if
Well, they're introducing new things, like, oh, there's a time wraith now to punish you for time traveling. Why aren't there time wraiths with the Time Masters?
yes,
They only attack speedsters.
why is it that a Time Master didn't show up instead of a Speed Wraith? You would think, now, this would be cool. Had they sent Rip Hunter back in a previous timeline, like where Rip Hunter met all of these people. Does that make sense? So he
Yes.
goes back to the Flash, and he has an episode with the Flash, and he meets Mick, or he doesn't even have to meet them. He kind of learns about them, and he starts looking, and you see him in a time in his life when he was planning this big thing. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that would have been awesome. Just
And he like,
see that.
yeah, and that would make sense because he has all of time and space to find people, and he picks 6 people from a single time period. Like, that seems so illogical. You have all of time and space. You could pick Jonah Hex. You can go
Which we will see.
right. You could pick any of these people. You pick all of them, but it would make sense if he had met them beforehand, and he was able to research them and figure out that they weren't necessary.
Why didn't he just go recruit Ra's al Ghul, Talia, or Nyssa? Because apparently he is an expert on the League of Shadows. He did his dissertation on it. Could have recruited one of their elite assassins.
I was hoping that you would find out that he was, as part of his dissertation, he got recruited into the League of Shadows. And I was hoping he's like, you have to be stealthy. I got this. And he goes in, and you find him like sitting having, wine and cheese with yes, tea with rice. He's like, yeah. This is Raish. That's Talia. That's Steve over there in the hood. You can't really tell, but trust me, that's Steve.
There's Ollie too. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I mean, it's great to like think about that, But we've seen Rip Hunter's battle skills, and he is not a League of Assassins trained fighter at all.
That's true.
He's actually pretty pathetic as a combatant. He always is getting beat up by Kronos, or I guess it was always Mick, but maybe it wasn't always Mick. We don't know.
To be fair, Mick has been training for a long time, and Mick could always beat the shit out of any of them.
True.
Like, I don't...
Oh, well, not really. I mean, Captain Cold has taken him down
with the cold gun.
Easily. With the cold, right, correct.
That was another thing. Captain Cold, like, colded his hand off, shattered it, and that was
the best part of the episode.
That was hardcore. I was like, holy shit, dude, you just gained a level in my book. And then totally decided that was, they regenerated at the end of the episode, and you're like, well, where?
I hated that. I thought that was such a cop-out. I would have loved to see him maybe do something. They could have done some cool design with his gun, where like his gun becomes his other hand or something like that.
Yes.
But instead, they're just like, no, we have this like awesome regeneration machine that I've never told you about that I'm going to pull out.
Yeah.
And now you're Luke Skywalker.
It's not even Luke Skywalker. They regrew him another hand, which means, can they clone people? You could build another hand. You could build an arm. You could build a leg.
Took samples of his DNA, of all their DNA. So
yeah.
Who's to say that this Mick is even the Mick that they left that they left whatever timeline that was they left it in. And he just like decided to use that to appeal to Cold's emotions to torture him even more. Just because that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go kill his sister multiple times in front of him. But remember, you can't go to the same timeline. But that's what Kronos was going to do. So you have like conflicting dialogue saying you can do something and then saying you can't do it in the same episode.
Okay. So maybe I started at like an 8. Now I might be down to a 7. Because talking about it, I see how there's just so many plot holes. Like, you need to explain the rules and stick to the rules. Because if you can't stick to the rules, then anything's possible and there's never a fear that anything bad can happen. Now that we know that we can regrow people, why does it matter if you die?
Right, there's no consequence at all. There's no consequence for any of their decisions at all. This is what we were talking about when Mick was actually taken to that timeline and left there. Rip Hunter just charged forward, got caught, and then everything ends up being pretty much okay because there aren't any consequences for the team.
Yeah. Okay.
When things go bad, they go good too. Like, they should stay bad and just get screwed. Well, they shouldn't, like, be rewarded for messing up all the time.
Okay, I have to agree. All right, so let's go Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm
actually really liking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I know.
Definitely moving forward to build up to Civil War.
Yeah, this was a real road to Civil War episode.
Yeah, we saw hints of it in a couple of the previous episodes, but this one, there's huge rifts within the team when it comes to how things are done morally.
Yeah.
Especially between Daisy and Mac.
Right.
And even Lincoln and Coulson. Which, the two different types of rifts there in those different relationships.
It's true. Mac is the... you've said it before. Mac is the heart and the conscience of the show.
I think you said that.
Oh. Right. I thought you did. Either way, he is.
Yes. He is. Especially after this winter break. He's really coming into form. And we saw it in I think it was the first season where he's fighting he's really super paranoid of of aliens. We see that too, and they're learning about the Inhumans.
Right. Did you think that his brother was going to be?
An Inhuman?
Yeah, in the beginning of the episode?
No, I actually thought his brother was Watchdog, which ended up him being
He was a sympathizer.
sympathetic to them.
Right. Which
But I didn't think he was an Inhuman.
which shows that average people have that feeling, like have those sympathies. That it's not just one splinter group of crazy people, but a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, and they hinted at how all these everyday people are doing it by talking about chat boards and all these other like online groups. But what Mac's brother, Mini Mac, I think is how Daisy referred to him, which was great. I loved it. Mini Mac really humanized that perspective and really brought it to the forefront instead of like, oh, there's these tons of random people talking in chat boards. No, we actually see one here who is doing it and feels that way, and he's able to express why he feels that way extremely well.
Yeah.
Even if he's a little conflicted and doesn't have complete information on why he believes that way, especially when Mac is like warning him off.
Well, most people don't. I mean, part of the
No
idea
one
of
does.
bigotry is that a lot of it is just misinformation and making assumptions. Yeah, fear. I thought that was really cool because it did feel a little public service announcement against hate groups. Like they had an agenda to talk to kids about staying away from radical hate groups, but
I think it had
I
a
thought
lot
it was
to do with the political cycle that we're in.
Oh, yeah,
to be
definitely.
honest. But I don't think we need to talk about it.
right.
That was there.
It was certainly there. I really liked Mac and him, kind of that relationship. I bought it that they were brothers. I liked when they were fighting and how it made sense. I love when he duct taped a butcher's knife to the end of a gun and called it the gun axe.
I love that too.
Yeah,
That was great.
because of course the axe scene with Mac was the scene that put Mac on the map on the carrier from the season finale of last season.
Yeah.
So that was cool. We had Fitz being awesome.
Yeah, I thought going back to kind of that road to Civil War where he kind of just went along with Daisy. I thought that was extremely important, even though it seemed very minor, but it showed that he's willing to go along even though he might disagree.
Right. So do you think I was a little conflicted. It seemed like Daisy was saying that, you know,
Daisy was Iron Man, total team Iron Man.
yeah, but she's not supposed to be. Like, not at all. She's supposed to be Team Cap.
Maybe not anymore. Maybe she's become radicalized just as much as the hate groups that she's supposedly fighting against.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's kind of what I got out of it. She was, instead of being better than them, she was resorting to their kind of same tactics. And honestly, her tactics were, we'd seen Watchdog took out that building, and I guess they said there are employees in there, so we have already seen them kill people.
Wait, time out. Did you notice that was nitramine from the first episode of Peggy Carter?
I don't really watch Peggy Carter, but
Oh.
they told us it was nitramine.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. And
Yeah,
how
it was cool.
everyone knew about it, but some people were like, I don't know what you're talking about. It was like, wait, you don't watch Peggy Carter?
I have them all taped. I haven't watched them fully.
Right, but it was like they were shaming you in the
Oh, right.
show.
Well, I think pretty sure that show's gonna get canceled. So.
I'm making my prediction now. It is not going to get canceled.
We'll see.
All right. So, yeah. What else happened in that episode? Oh, we didn't get any Ward, right?
No Ward. We did get some hints at Hydra being behind. Obviously, they were behind that S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. I forget what his name was. That's behind the Watchdog.
Oh yeah, it was a bomb. It was a freaking bomb.
He had totally abandoned his S.H.I.E.L.D. principles and is literally in bed with Hydra.
Yeah. He went hardcore.
But yes, it was a bomb. There was a real bomb.
Yeah, craziness. Anyway, so let's talk Batman vs. Superman. It is time.
Yes, it is. So I actually really, really liked the movie a lot. I mean, obviously there were scenes that could have been cut out and were superfluous and we didn't really need them. Or we could have seen them as after credit scene, but I don't think Warner Brothers wants to go there because it's too much like Marvel. And they're trying to make sure that they're distinct from Marvel. But I just loved the entire relationship and story arc between Batman and Superman and how we see how they affect each other throughout the movie for good or for bad. I just thought that was just so well done. And was Batman vs. Superman. It was Batman v Superman throughout the movie, even though we didn't get to see them fight quite a bit as some people might have wanted them to see. But I think it was more along the lines of like they both had those internal struggles that they caused for each other. And I thought that was extremely interesting. We got to see that Paul Kent scene with Superman was absolutely phenomenal.
Wait, was that dream sequence 5 or 6?
I'm not sure. That was Superman's dream sequence.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't really a dream sequence. It's more like just a vision. Because he was like climbing into the mountains.
Right.
To think. And then he was kind of projecting his father, but it was really his own like internal monologue.
Okay.
That's how I kind of viewed it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So right now, it's sitting at a 29% on the tomato meter from critics and a 71% from the audience. And it dropped first week to second week 65% in box office sales, which is one of the largest for a comic book movie.
It also has a 30%. It also has people are actually going back to see it 30% more than an average movie. So people are going to see it multiple times.
That's true. I mean, I saw it twice. You said you're going to be seeing it twice.
I will be seeing it twice, maybe even 3 times.
But I don't necessarily know that is the best.
It means you liked it enough that you want to go see it twice.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, to be fair, I went and saw it with my buddies because my wife wasn't able to. And then I had to go see it with my wife because, you know, you got to nerd together. You got to nerd together, man. I took one for the team. You fell on that grenade.
It wasn't really a grenade.
Okay, so we know that my feelings on this movie were not as bright and happy. Because the movie was so devoid of fun. We've talked about this a little bit. You don't feel the fun is necessary for a comic book movie, and I would say it is. There has to be levity, there has to be joy, there has to be fun, because that's what you're fighting for. You need that, or else it's just depressing. I mean, even Watchmen, which was before this the best dark superhero movie I can think of. I mean, you could go with the Christopher Nolans, but they're a different story altogether. But even Watchmen had some really interesting and funny scenes. Plus a really long sex scene, which that always helps for levity. But
There was a bathtub scene.
there was, which was odd.
Wait, why was it odd? You don't want to see Superman love his love of his life, Lois Lane?
Oh, I'm all for that. And she was attractive. It was just, I don't know. Like, he got into the water, and I guess it's endearing because he didn't care. He just wanted to be with his lady. It was odd. It was an odd way to show his affection, but hey, whatever floats his boat. Like, it made me a little uncomfortable, but it wasn't like it didn't take me out of it. Like, I don't know.
Said that was one of her favorite. My fiance said that was one of her favorite scenes.
Well, good.
When he just jumped into the tub with her.
Yes.
She loved that scene.
You know who didn't love that scene? Whoever lives below them.
I mean, unless they have really good walls, they might not have heard anything.
I was thinking more of the water. They flooded that bathroom.
Yeah, but Superman can just like suck it in with his brain.
I think he was doing something else with his mouth at the time. But
he's so fast, he can be in two places at once.
He's pulling a Hunter Zolomon.
Yeah.
So
Reverse Flash.
Yes, Reverse Flash. That's true. So there was that. I really had an issue with Jesse Eisenberg as Alex Luthor. It was not, in my opinion, it was not a great performance. It was annoying, and it took me out of the movie. Now, you have a theory on this. What's your theory?
So my theory is that as the movie progresses, Luthor is gaining more and more knowledge, especially once he gets to accesses the spaceship, and he's able to access the database that the spaceship has, which seems to be almost limitless. And within that knowledge base, his brain can't process all the knowledge anymore. So I think it's kind of teasing a potential Brainiac story that, like we saw in Justice League Unlimited, where Brainiac and Luthor almost meld together to become one.
Right.
So Luthor will be able to process all the knowledge that he's gaining from the supercomputer on the ship. Or it's possible that he was already doing that with the ship. Because if we look at the comics, Brainiac, bless you.
Thank you.
We look at the comics, Brainiac is a supercomputer from Krypton.
Right.
And where's that ship from? It's from Krypton.
Okay. And that makes sense. Now, explain the Jolly Rancher, which was before all this happened.
The Jolly Rancher?
The Jolly Rancher.
I don't understand. I don't know what you're saying.
So,
what you're referencing.
Remember when he unwraps the Jolly Rancher and forces the Secretary of Defense to eat it? And he's like, eat it, it's cherry. It's cherry. Very weird.
Right.
But that was well before he started talking to the supercomputer. I would say that invalidates your theory because he was freaking weird before then.
Well, it wasn't about him being weird. He can still be weird. He was actually struggling to process the information as the story went on. Just because he was super weird and almost maniacal and controlling doesn't mean it invalidates the theory.
To me,
it actually made him even more powerful. He's telling a sitting senator to eat a Jolly Rancher out of his hand.
Yeah, it was so weird.
I thought that showed how powerful Luthor was, and it goes to it also plays on the fact with Frank Miller's Dark Knight Strikes Again, where Luthor and Brainiac team up. It's big business and this government, which was Brainiac. They team up together to control the world
Okay.
and even manipulate Superman with Candor.
Well, he definitely manipulated Superman and Batman in this. So
Yes, he did.
I'll give you that. A little too easy, if you ask me.
I don't played very well to both Superman's character and Batman's character that we saw on the screen.
Batman was
I mean,
completely driven by emotion, not logic.
which I think is fine. He's an older Batman. He's been around the block. He's seen friends die. He's seen good people turn bad. I don't have a problem with him being driven by emotion.
Do you subscribe to the theory that the Joker is Jason Todd?
No.
Do you think Jason Todd exists in this universe?
I think he's dead already.
So do you think he could be Lazarus pitted back and turned to the Red Hood? Personally, my favorite DC character.
I don't think that will happen.
That's a shame.
I think you're more likely to see Jason Todd as the zombie from Strikes Again. I think it was Strikes Again. Or was it Dark Knight Returns where he's a zombie? I think it's Strikes Again. So I think one of the biggest things I really loved about the movie, a lot of the Christian imagery, and there was a lot of it.
Yeah, there was.
From Luthor's painting that he shows us in the room when he's first meeting with Holly Hunter's character, with the demons coming from above, to Batman's nightmare sequence where he's chained up in the middle between the two random people as Batman's the Christ figure in that scene. And then we get that end scene with Superman using a spear to kill the quote-unquote devil Doomsday, like St. Michael the Archangel was casting out Lucifer from the world. And then to make matters even better, with the Christian imagery, Superman is killed to redeem Batman and the rest of humanity.
To redeem Batman?
Yep.
How you figure?
Because Batman's lost his way. He's become
A serial
one
killer?
of those good. No, he's become one of those good people that is turning bad, and Superman
Into a serial killer?
No,
He killed a lot of
killer.
people.
that doesn't mean you're a serial killer.
I think that's the definition of a serial killer.
No, a serial killer means you're killing in a certain way, or you're killing a certain type of people.
Like bad guys, and you're killing them in a bat suit?
He wasn't like planning to kill them, though. They just happened to be in his way when he's rescuing Martha.
I wasn't planning to kill you, but I shot a Gatling gun at your car.
He was defending himself. They were shooting at him too.
I'll give you
I
that.
don't know why you're like so upset that Batman kills people.
Okay. Well,
But Superman redeems Batman. He shows him that there's still good in the world, and that there's something to live by, and humanity is worth fighting for, and there is good in humanity.
okay. Tell me, in I think it's either Dream Sequence 4 or 5, we have
Numbers don't help me.
right.
Describe the sequences.
Well, there were just so many. So the nightmare scene.
Okay.
We have Superman, all these soldiers with the Superman patch bowing to Superman, and he comes down, he's got Batman, and he pulls the mask off and he says, "She was my world. You killed her. Ah, I'm so angry." And then he kills them all. And he punches like through his chest, which is how he kills the Joker in Injustice. And it all just screams Injustice. Do you think they're going to do Injustice? Because if they did Injustice, I would forget all of the silliness of this movie. because that would just be so badass.
I don't think they're going to do injustice because, as so many people have already complained, they think Zack Snyder has somehow killed the Superman brand.
No.
Which, in fact, I don't totally disagree. I think Superman is fantastic in this movie and is Superman. But Superman is not going to go, once he comes back, which we know he's going to come back, he's not going to become a praised despot.
Yeah, by the way, they took a lot of comics and kind of crammed them in there. I mean, I was not expecting the death of Superman. Were you?
No, I wasn't. Even though we knew Doomsday was there, so we probably should have. That's probably on us for not expecting that, knowing from the trailer that Doomsday was in it. I actually thought that scene was really poignant. It kind of hits you pretty hard to see Superman in the arms of Lois Lane. I thought they did a good job of showing that. But I think my favorite scene was from DKR, and I thought they did a really great job with the CGI, was showing how much the nuclear weapon had weakened Superman.
That was pretty cool.
That was just fantastic. That was probably one of my favorite just scenes, seeing him floating there in space, almost his muscles were completely depleted.
Right. So, I've been a little negative. I'm going to talk about some of the things I loved. I saw a mother box, and the mother box created Cyborg. That right there is all sorts of awesome. I saw a parademon knock out Batman with one punch. That was cool. I saw the Darkseid Omega symbol, which a little sudden. I mean, just kind of throwing that at me. Okay, we're doing Darkseid. But how cool is that? There was a moment in Darkseid, I think, or not Darkseid, Doomsday's second form, where he looked really good. He started off Lord of the Ring Cave Troll and ended some sort of giant thing that didn't make sense. And he had this shock nova thing that didn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm still not sure.
He was evolving.
Right. I'm still not sure if he was Zod or if he was like the child of Zod, basically. I'm not quite sure, but that really doesn't matter. There was a time where he looked awesome. It was like in his second form, after the Bone Spurs came out the first time. I was like, oh wow, that looks like Doomsday. Then he changed again, but during that time, it was like 30 seconds. I was like, he looks really good.
Do you think that he will be back, or do you think he's dead and gone?
Would he come back, that huge thing with spikes for a hand and...
More like the character.
I don't know.
They've shown us that they can create new life.
Yeah.
From dead.
And not just that. There's still... Where are the other Kryptonians? There are like three other Kryptonians somewhere out there. There's the chick, there's the big guy. I think there's one other one.
I think the big guy was Non. So Non's out there. Who was Zod's right-hand man. One of Zod's right-hand man, but he's an idiot.
Right, but he exists.
That's the big guy you're talking about? Right.
Why did everyone care about his body? Like, there's three other Kryptonians out there.
I don't know. I can't answer that question. They're still alive, right? Or are they dead too?
That's an even better question. Well, last time we saw the big guy, he got punched really hard. And Superman just forgot about him.
That was like in that fight scene in like that neighborhood, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, we're getting off track though. Let's get back to Batman vs Superman. I think some of the things I think that they could have done a better job was obviously. I think Zack Snyder's even admitted himself is the editing wasn't very good. I think they could have edited out all of the Justice League scenes.
Oh yeah.
And those should have been honestly. I know they don't want to go back to be like Marvel, but they should have done an after credit scene to tease the Justice League, and they could have done that with Cyborg, with Flash, with Aquaman.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see that in the actual movie. They could have cut out all of the parts about like Bruce wanting to go build this Justice League team, or they could have just said like, here there's these files or whatever, and we don't show the files until the after credit scene, but he knows that they're there and he wants to go find them.
Yeah.
So you still don't need to show those like teasers of like Aquaman stabbing that underwater aqua drone with his trident, or Flash stopping that convenience store robbery, or Cyborg even becoming Cyborg.
Right.
With that, supposedly with that mother box, if that's what that was.
It was totally a mother box. But
I think it is too.
But other than that, from that, did you get the impression that Lex Luthor gave the color scheme and the what do you call them? The logo of all of the Justice League?
Yes, as far as we know. But they did show us that clip of the Flash. So who knows if time travel has anything to do with it.
Okay.
But that's another scene that they should have cut. It was confusing to general audience members. I didn't even realize that it was the Flash. I couldn't tell that was Ezra Miller. He had some kind of weird suit on. It wasn't an iconic Flash suit. It was a
are we talking
mechanical suit.
Are we talking about the dream sequence where he's like, "Hey, I showed up too early," and tells him?
Yeah, it was the dream within the dream. So he had the nightmare scene,
right.
And then you had this guy coming out of a portal,
and he had the Flash symbol on his chest. So it was the Flash. He just looked nothing like the Flash.
Right, and that's probably something I'd have to watch again because I felt that scene went by really quickly, and I was more focused on like the flashing lights of the portal than zooming in on the symbol on his chest.
Right.
So that might be just me overlooking that.
And that's the way it happened for me on the first watching. I was like, what the hell is happening? And the second time I was
even
like...
us seasoned veterans have no clue what this scene is talking about. It was even hard to make out what he was saying.
Yes.
That was like the only time where the music was... I think the music was blocking out what he was saying because you heard the portal in the background making lots of noise, and it was just difficult to make out exactly what he was saying. But I think that was done on purpose too.
Right.
But it still was a completely confusing scene that really didn't add any value to the movie.
No. I will say, speaking of music, Gal Gadot, although she looked awesome and she had the right temperament, her theme music was distracting.
Oh, I loved her theme music. I was like, ooh, we're going to get a fight scene here. This is going to be epic. I actually love the music throughout the entire movie.
Okay.
I know some people have said that it can be distracting and it tries to make you feel something in the scene. But that's what they seemed like they were trying to do to me. They want you to make you feel something through the music. And I thought it did an excellent job of making the scenes feel epic. And that Wonder Woman theme music felt epic to me. When you see an epic fight, and it was an epic fight.
Okay. Well, I think we both
That's my opinion, at least.
And you are entitled to it. I totally see where you're coming from. And I may not agree with you 100%, but I may not have had fun, but I was entertained. I enjoyed myself. And that's important. And that's why I saw it again.
See, you don't need to have fun. You just need to enjoy it. And it can make you think, too. I thought the movie makes you think.
Okay. And that's okay. That's okay too.
Definitely. You don't think you didn't come away having questions about man's relationship with God or anything like that?
I can honestly say it did not affect my thoughts on man's relationship with God.
But did you think about that at all?
I thought that it was really heavy-handed, the way that they kept saying it. He's God. I'm man. What is our relationship with man and God? Hey, look at the painting. There's man and God. Devils don't come from the ground, they come from the sky. This is the devil. I'm the devil. Like, there was a lot of that, and it was obvious, and it was a little heavy-handed, is what I'm trying to say.
I think they were trying to make it very obvious, to make you think about it, to point it out to you.
And I get that. I get that that was what they were trying to do, and I respect that they tried it. Anyway, so final thoughts. What would you rate Batman vs. Superman?
An 8.
Okay.
It's a lot better than Star Wars.
Okay, so we certainly disagree on that. I would give it a 7, maybe a 6.5.
That's still good.
It's still good. Still good. If it was less than a 5, I wouldn't have seen it again. Like
Definitely wasn't less than a 5.
I did not see Green Lantern twice.
It's a movie I recommend to my friend. I've recommended it to my friends to go see. One of my buddies who lives up in New York right now. He was like, "Should I go see it? Have you seen it yet? Tell me what you think." And then I told him, like, you need to go see it. And he finally went and saw it today. And he said it was good. And the critics don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, and I will say I told other people to go see it, and the reason is this is the opening to the DC Cinematic Universe, and as an opening to the DC Cinematic Universe, it did that. I'm very interested in this Batman. Like, I think Ben Affleck as Batman, he was the best Bruce Wayne we have seen so far, and I love this kind of old and grizzled Dark Knight Returns Batman. I love how they did did you notice how they did the cover of Dark Knight Returns with the lightning behind it when
from the trailer?
Yeah.
When Doomsday's chasing him?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was lots of Dark Knight Returns imagery throughout the movie.
Yes. Which I appreciate. Because that's, one of the classic Batman comic books. Although, I will say that I hope I never see Batman Returns or Batman Year One just ever again on screen. Because we're done with that. There are so many.
One?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about a potential adaptation.
So, all the good Batman movies we've seen have taken heavily from those two comics. And there's so many good Batman comics out there. I just don't want to see anything else adapted from there. I want to see Hush. I want to see The Long Halloween. I want to see Court of Owls. I really don't want to see... I want to see Death in the Family. I've seen Batman
you will
Year
get to
One.
see Killing Joke.
Oh,
Animated this year.
that's good stuff.
Bruce Tim.
But I'm talking about live action. I hope...
I know.
So Ben Affleck has said that he has written a script for this new Batman, and after how well he did, I can't imagine that they're not putting it up as soon as possible, getting that movie out as soon as possible and greenlighting it. Because I want to see more of Batfleck.
Well, we will see more. Suicide Squad, he will be in it.
For a little bit, yeah.
Yep. We know for a fact he will be in that car chase scene that we've seen in the trailers.
Yeah.
We're going to see a little bit more there.
Do you think they'll young him down a bit? Like they'll make him look younger?
Is Suicide Squad supposed to take place before? I would think it's supposed to take after, so why wouldn't he be the same?
That's a good question. I always just kind of assumed that, because the way he talks about the Joker, because he makes some obvious references to the Joker, and it sounded like it's kind of in the past.
I think it might have been. We might see Joker break out of Arkham.
That'd be fun.
Maybe.
Okay. So, we've talked about everything we need to talk about. Is there anything else you want to chit-chat about?
Did we want to rate the television shows?
Sure. Let's go through. Let's do our rating. What do you think of The Flash?
It was a 5.
Okay, I'll give it a 7. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Not like... But the plot holes and the wrecking of time travel are what loseth the 3 points for me. Supergirl.
I actually like this one a little better than The Flash, mainly just because of the chemistry between Supergirl and Flash. I don't know, it was really good. And I really like the costume for Silver Banshee. So I'd probably give that one a 6.
Huh. I'd give that one a 7 too. Just because it was a new experience for me. I don't know. A
Dialogue
6.
was terrible.
Yeah, the dialogue. The more I think about
outside of Supergirl and Flash.
Right. And, Jimmy Olsen's breaking bro code, so that's just not cool. Gotham, what do you give the rating?
That one was probably 5.5.
Okay.
The storylines just weren't interesting to me. They didn't really move me at all. Well, we didn't get to see anything with Bruce. We haven't seen anything with Mr. Freeze in a long time. And there was no Doctor Strange either, which was disappointing.
Hugo Strange, not like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Hugo Strange, yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Hugo Strange, sorry.
Legends of Tomorrow, let's do this.
This was like a 4.
Oh,
It was bad.
man. That's tough. Are we saying that an average episode for this series is a 5?
Yeah, we can say that. I think that's what we've been going.
So
Doing it.
I would say that this episode is par for the course, so it was a 5. There were some things I really liked. There were some things I didn't. It was just average. The fact that they haven't got on to any of the real story, it was a bottle episode again. Like, nothing really happened.
Well, the real story episodes are pretty bad, too.
It's true. I like the characters, though.
They're okay. I like them when they were on Flash and Arrow. They haven't really done anything for me on Legends yet.
Okay. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What do you think?
I actually really like this one. This was an 8.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's an 8 for me, too. Especially in its setting up of Civil War, yeah.
Yeah, I thought the character interactions were absolutely fantastic. The dialogue was really good. It was believable. We got to see a human perspective from someone who isn't associated with power people or S.H.I.E.L.D. or any kind of government agency at all, which is unique. We haven't really seen that before.
Yeah.
And we got to see a former head or former high up of S.H.I.E.L.D. completely betray everything he used to stand for.
Yeah, go banana sandwich and get himself a bomb. But
yeah,
also, I thought was interesting that Mac's brother gives us a window into what the average person is feeling.
Right.
Which is imperative for Civil War coming up. We need to know how the world feels about powered people.
I also think that one of Cap's strategies might be to try and get public opinion on his side.
And the public loves Cap.
Right now.
Right.
So it actually might be reverse, where Iron Man tries to make Cap look bad, much like Lex Luthor was trying to do to Superman.
Yes. I still don't quite understand Lex Luthor's plan, like what his objective was. Because at the very end, even if Superman died, he still has a rampaging Doomsday he has to deal with. But that's now we're just going back to our
He unleashes Doomsday because Superman hasn't died.
Well, it was still building. It's not like
He could have stopped it.
you think?
He had seconds. Plenty of time.
I don't know that you can.
He could have been like, computer, terminate.
Is that a Doomsday abortion?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
He
messed up.
He would have prevented the Doomsday.
All right. Well, this has been a great show. So, John, where can people find us?
Well, as always, you can find me on Facebook at John Trent, on Twitter at JF Trent. You can also find me at Bounding Comics on Twitter, and always check out the website boundingintocomics.com.
Right, and I'm
How about yourself?
I'm at Who Is John Faust on Twitter and on Reddit, and I'm also on Facebook, John Faust. But yeah, it's been great. I know that you had a great quote that you wanted to end this on, so John, take it away.
I want you to remember Clark in all the years to come, in your most private moments. I want you to remember my hand at your throat. I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
The Comic Vigilante! That's all, folks.